Astra is a celestial platformer, Pico 8, starring Astra the Star. Let's give it a look. Welcome to Pico Playtime, the video series where I play through some cool Pico 8 games to show to you lovely people. Today's game is called Astra and the New Constellation, and it's by a developer called Rare Like a Unicorn, also known as Rare, also known as Travis, aka Rare, also known as... Anyway, this is a fantastic Pico 8 platform that I'm very excited to show you today. It's a very new game. As of recording, it was released yesterday, so pretty much a brand new game. Rare was kind enough to send me a download code, so I've got my free copy of the game, like a real game reviewer. There's a press kit and everything. I'm spoilt today. You can get the game from Itch. I believe it is $4. Let's just check. Yeah, $3.99, 20% off because of launch week. So yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Buy it now. Anyway, let's play the game first before you make a decision on that. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay. Before we get started, it's the part of the video where I like to talk about the title screen. Something kind of interesting about the start of this game. Let's just reset the cart and just... Oh look, Locking 7 Digital. We've got a publisher, and that is a fantastic logo, by the way. This game has got a publisher, very interesting. This is a kind of this feels like a commercially released game. This is crazy. This doesn't feel like your normal Pico 8 game. Yeah. I've never seen a Pico 8 game with a publisher before. This is something new for me. Getting a press kit was something new. I really am happy about that, by the way. Makes my life so easy. Anyway, enough of that. This is a platformer game with a kind of... It's a very modern platformer game in its style. It's got a lot of kind of accommodations for speedrunners and such. Let's have a look at some of the menus before we get into it. You may notice down at the bottom there it says Cozy Run and Cozy Mode. That's easy mode. This is a hard game. I had to turn the difficulty down to get through the later levels because I'm just not very good at these games. Let's turn that off because I do want to show you the kind of mainline gameplay as it was intended, I suppose. So yeah, we've turned off Cozy Mode now. Expect lots of deaths. Lots of options and customizations in the options menu here. You can turn all sorts of things off. You can disable things. You can swap controls around. The key word in this review today is going to be polish. You know how much I like talking about polish in Pico 8 games. This game is an incredible example of that. So many... mark this off any bingo cards. So many nice touches in this game. Yeah, let's just have a quick look at the stats page. I can embarrass myself. There we go. Total lifetime deaths 538. I am really not very good at these games. Yeah, when you play through the game, if you're playing on normal difficulty, that is, each run of the level is timed, which is great for speedrunners. Look at this, all the times are just there. However, if you turn Cozy Mode on, which I had to do starting on level 11, yeah, you don't get a time for that. So I need to practice, which is going to involve dying a lot more. Anyway, let's get into the game. So, start a new run. Are you sure? Yeah. Yeah, I am sure. Yeah, this sort of thing here, like confirmation, you know, confirmation dialogues. It's just polish, isn't it? You know, it's little things, little bits of detail that you add into your game to make it a lot better. Check out that logo as well, by the way. So nice. Anyway, let's get into the game. I've been talking long enough. We've got a little story at the start of the game. How nice is this? This starlet, named Astra, the runt of her litter, just wanted to find a spot that would fit her. The bigger stars laughed, denied her a place, so she made up her mind and took off into space. Oh, look at this. Poor Astra's getting bullied. I'll make my own home, Astra promised aloud. A constellation of all where we can be proud. So yeah, we are a intrepid little star journeying through this strange platformy world. if you've played the game, or if you're familiar with the game Ristar, or Ristar, however you pronounce it, it may look familiar to you. Right then, let's talk about some game mechanics, okay? This is a platformer game. We have got lots of things that we can do. We've also got, again with the polish, we've got a inline tutorial. The first level is like the tutorial level, which introduces you to things like jumping. Don't worry, there are more demanding things that we need to do later on. But yeah, press circle to jump. Or is it square? Press that button to jump. Or on the controller, X. Yep. There are pickups and things that we can collect. You can see the first level has got 76 of these little stars that we can collect. When you get further into the game, some of those stars are in very hard to reach places. Press X to slide. So we've got jumping, we've got sliding, we've got a checkpoint. All the checkpoints. We'll get on to the checkpoints. Press X when sliding to cancel. Like so. Or press circle while sliding to do a small hop, like so. Notice how it's introducing all these things in a nice way. We've got our first obstacle in the game. If we jump into that, oh dear, we die. This is the style of platformer game where there are infinite continues, you just respawn at the checkpoint. A very modern style of platformer, I must say. That's how you get through that bit. There is going to be a lot of trial and error for you when you play this game. Yeah, you are, unless you are a platforming god, you are not going to get through this without dying a lot. I died 500 times, and, well, maybe you can do better than I can. Hold circle in the air to float. We've got a floating or kind of like a gliding mechanic, isn't it? Similar to how Knuckles glides in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Anyway, yeah, so far so good. Plummet through the air with the cross button. So we can do a kind of, a plummet move, I suppose. I keep calling it the stomp move, even though you don't really stomp anything. There are no enemies to attack in this game. There are just obstacles to avoid, like spikes and such. Oh dear. Don't do that. Oh, don't do that either. It begins. This is just the first level. This is just the tutorial level. Yeah, the difficulty curve in this game. Each level has there's usually in each level a couple of really difficult bits. Each level is a kind of self-contained kind of area. You'll see how the levels work in a little bit. And yeah, there are some really tricky platforming sections in this game. Lots of fun to kind of learn all of the mechanics. So we've been introduced to the kind of most useful ones, or the ones that we use the most throughout the game so far. There are a couple more that we'll get shown a little bit further in. Yeah, as you can see, that's the first level, and there would definitely be a way to do that very quickly if you were of a speedrunner inclination. Here's where things start to get a little bit more interesting and challenging, one might say. We've got some spinning circular saws of death. Yes, inspirations for this game then. Beyond, I'm just going to call it Ristar, okay? You might pronounce it Ristar. I pronounce it Ristar, like Ricicles. Everyone's favourite sugary Rice Krispie cereal from the 90s. Anyway, Ristar is an obvious influence on this game. Also, oh no, I would say quite a few kind of what I would call kind of modern platformers are kind of in evidence. Celeste, of course, Super Meat Boy, the circular saws, very familiar to any Super Meat Boy players. There's lots of very kind of familiar little sections of levels and things, and little kind of platforming mechanics that you think, I've seen that somewhere before. I don't know if I'll be able to get far enough to show you. Oh, I could use the level select, I suppose. But there are some blocks a little bit further in, and I was thinking, where do I know that from? And then it occurred to me, I knew it from Fez. Have you played Fez? That's a really cool game. Yeah, kind of reminded me of that. How nice. Yeah, each level then has its own look and its own music. There's so much music in this game. like I say, because it's a multi-cart game, the level presentation is just above and beyond what we would normally see in a Pico 8 game. So many graphics, so much music. It's getting to the point where it doesn't feel almost like a Pico 8 game because there's so much in the game, so much content, so much stuff to enjoy. Yeah, each level has got its own look, and each level kind of has its own kind of gimmick to the level. This level has obviously got the green slime, and we've got lots of circular saws on this. Yeah, as we get further in, we get introduced to some really really nasty platformer obstacles that I really struggle with. Mostly the springs, to be honest. The levels are really well designed. There's a nice kind of ramping up of each level. You usually get to a particularly tricky part in each level, or a couple of tricky parts where you really have to master the controls. And it kind of builds up. There's a kind of nice ebb and flow. It's not just a relentless death fest like some platform games often are. I really like how the levels have been laid out. It does kind of build you up to it as well. The later levels are very hard. I had to turn the difficulty down because I was getting that stuck, but it kind of builds you up to that. And I do think that with a little bit of practice, I could probably get through with a lot less deaths, a lot less drama, which is nice. The responsiveness of the character makes it so that you really feel like you can get through the level. Eventually. Yeah, the jumping feels really nice. All of the kind of transitions between kind of the different moves that you've got, like the gliding, the plummet, or the stomp as I like to call it. It all feels very fluid, very smooth. He says as he plummets off the side of the platform. Yeah, the feel of the game is incredible. You can tell that this game has been kind of worked on for a long time. The first demo, I'm just reading the press kit here, by the way. That's why I sound so well informed. The first demo was in 2019, I think. Rare's been working on it kind of, I suppose, on and off for like, what, 3 or 4 years now. You can tell it really feels like so much effort and thought has gone into this. The feel of the game is so nice. Yeah, it really does feel like a kind of commercial game, this. Really good feel. Oh look, we've got a new little mechanic, look. Plummet into springs to go higher. This is the part of the game which I struggled with the most. Further in to the game, there are a lot of springs, and yeah, I just find them an absolute nightmare. But yeah, we're just getting built up here now. You know? Oh, I did that wrong. Oh, yeah, it builds you up in a nice way. Oh my god, I've got to try and talk about the game whilst playing the game. That is going to be very difficult for me, as you can see. Things are starting to get a little bit trickier on the game, aren't they? Have you noticed? The difficulty is ramping up. I'm starting to die a lot more. Yeah, you can see there are a few new kind of aspects of the game. If I'm pulling some faces, it's because I'm having to concentrate. Okay, just bear with me. Okay. Yeah, as we get further into the game, a few new mechanics are kind of unveiled to us, revealed to us. Oh, words. Use words. Yeah, so we've got springs on this level. A little bit further in, we'll get the Fez-like platforms, which kind of switch around. You recognise it when you see it. Is that kind of like a Lek head as well? I'm sure there's something similar in that game. You'll recognise it when we get to it. I might have to use the level select because there's no way I'm going to be playing through all of these early levels to be able to show you everything. I'm really not that good. Depending on how good you are at these sorts of games, you will be dying a lot, but depending on how good you are, will depend on how far you get into the game before you start having to ignore these little collectible stars, because I certainly got to a point where I just wanted to get to the end, and the stars, some of them are in very dangerous places. Can we just bask in the glory of some of the nice little details in this level? Each level, remember, has got its own colour scheme, and there's some nice little kind of particle effects, you might say, in the background there. Little shooting stars, look. Isn't that nice? And the music as well. Each level's got its own piece of music. It's so refreshing to play a Pico 8 game with loads of different music in. Pico 8 games often... Pico 8 doesn't give you a lot of room on one cart for a lot of music. A lot of Pico 8 developers aren't that confident adding their own music in. We can't all have Gruber soundtracks, unfortunately. But yeah, the soundtrack in this is really good. It's not too kind of obtrusive. It doesn't get in the way. Pico 8 music can often be quite loud and kind of distract from the game. It really sits in this really well. Really sets the mood. Really fits the cute little graphics as well. Have we discussed how beautifully animated our main character is? Look at her little eyes rather, bobbing around. Little idle animation there. Just a nice little, what was that, a 3 or 4 frame animation. Or even when she jumps and she's falling and she's kind of like, I don't know what you call it, like it's sort of like a skydiver, kind of like sort of belly down. Oh, really nice animated character. I don't think I've seen a Pico 8 platform with such a well animated character, such a large sprite as well. A lot of Pico 8 platformers that have a lot of animation, the sprites are a lot smaller to accommodate the kind of, you know, number of frames that you need to put in there. So Rare's done a phenomenal job of cramming in all the animation of the main character into this, because oh, it looks good. I mean, it looks like a SNES game or a Mega Drive game. It's so detailed. Incredible work. And like the level design as well, it's so fluid. Oh, this one's a tricky one. Yeah. Oh, the checkpoints. Right. Each time you die, as you have seen many times, you get thrown back to the checkpoint. Now, some of these checkpoints feel very spaced out. I don't think they are particularly spaced out. I imagine that it's at kind of regular intervals, but oh, some of the sections are very hard to get through. I struggled a lot on some of them. Yeah, I think for people who are not good at these games like me, I think a few more checkpoints would have really, really helped me at least. Oh, I don't have a clue what I'm doing here. But yeah, your mileage may vary basically. I love the little star field thing that we get at the end of each level. A dangerous detour. Oh, some of these level names are so threatening. So this is a good example, actually, this level, of the kind of gimmicks that we get in each level. We've got a falling blocks gimmick on this level, and I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, we've got falling blocks on this level. Yeah, each level's got its own kind of theme. I think that's a really good way of creating the game. It makes the game feel a lot bigger. It just makes the game feel really big and epic. I'm really running out of words to describe this game, aren't I? Here's a nice thing that I like. Once you've collected one of these little star pickup things, if you die, you don't have to pick them up again. I really like that, because often a game like this, I would probably expect it to force you to pick things up each kind of, pick them all up in one go, which would be an absolute nightmare. So that's something a little bit forgiving, which I appreciate a lot. Not that I'm going to be collecting all of these, because I'm stuck at this game. But yeah, you might do better than me. Oh, anyway. Yeah, so this level has got the falling blocks. Let's return to the title screen and check out some of the other parts of the game that I can show you, because I have actually played through all of this game. Not all at the highest difficulty, mind. Is it level 5? Alliterative lava level. Here we go. It's a lava level, everyone. Look, we've got the raising and lowering lava level thing. Where have I seen this before? Off the top of my head, I think we had a level like this in Rocket Knight Adventures on the Mega Drive. Great platform game if you've not played it. Again, very hard platform game, but it's great nonetheless. Yeah, so many nice little kind of platform little additions. I don't know if they're references as such or if it's just a cool thing to put in, but yeah, it makes each level kind of feel fresh. Even though the levels do get very hard, because each level has got its own theme and its own look, its own music, and its own kind of unique combination of gameplay mechanics, it keeps things feeling fresh. The game doesn't drag. I mean, my initial playthrough, you might have seen it at the beginning, my initial playthrough was just under 90 minutes. 500 deaths, don't forget. And yeah, all the way through that, I was being constantly challenged. I was definitely being challenged, but I was also not being... I wasn't getting bored, because each level, once you've completed it, you move on to some new horrendous challenge that you need to get your fingers around. Further in, you really are forced to master the different kind of movement styles that there are. You notice there the springing up on the springs, that becomes very important later on, and it does take quite a bit of getting used to. There are lots of very clever kind of movement things you can do. You can do kind of like, well, it says in the tutorial how you can kind of cancel dashes. You can kind of cancel the drops, I think. Yeah, lots of very well thought out, very kind of detailed and crisp platform movement. When you screw up in this game, it's not through the fault of the control scheme or anything. It's because you're not very good, which does get quite what's the word? This is I do struggle with these games. I find them very, very difficult. But you know, the game is helping you as much as it can with its lovely crisp controls. Anyway, there's another anyway to mark off on your bingo cards. How many times in a video do I say anyway? Anyway, Astra and the new Constellation, you can download the game on itch. It is currently on offer for $3.99. Regular price $4.99. I received a free copy from Rare, because Rare is really kind and sent me a free copy. So thank you for that, Rare. And thank you for making this wonderful Pico 8 game. This is one of the easily one of the best games that I've played so far this year in Pico 8. This is already a candidate for going in my end of year list, which yeah, 9 months away, but I'm already planning. I'm already thinking what's going to go in there. This is a fantastic Pico 8 game. It deserves... There's so much effort has been put into it. It's obviously a real labour of love. And yeah, working on it for all that time. Started off live in 2019. Yeah, Rare deserves all the credit in the world for this. This is an outstanding Pico 8 game. You know, you get like AAA games. Well, I'm gonna call this a triple P Pico 8 game because this is like top tier stuff. I'm super impressed with it. Really good. You should be as well. It's a really good game. Go and check it out. You can play it for free over on itch, and you can download it from there as well. I don't know if we were getting a Splore release. I imagine not, because it's going through a publisher and things. It's kind of like a commercial game, this, isn't it? But yeah, go and check out the links down below. Go and follow Rare over on Twitter. Check out Rare's other games as well. This is his first... Oh, controller's going a bit weird. This is his kind of... It's not his first game. What did it say? Started off in 2019 as a side project after releasing several smaller Pico 8 games. So yeah, it's not his first Pico 8 game, but it's kind of first big Pico 8 game. His masterpiece. There, that's what I'm going to call it. It's a masterpiece. Anyway, yeah. Go and check out the developer. Go and check out this game. Really fun. Anyway, I'm starting to repeat myself now. I'm just being intimidated by this lava going up and down. Scary. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.